Hey, what's up? Improvement Warrior Jason Yun, back with you again. Today, where's my video? Wanted to create something going over the feet. I have, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have seen a whole bunch of people wearing flip-flops, which you should never do. Flip-flops are one of the worst shoes. Obviously, high heels are going to be the worst because any type of heel is going to elevate you and put you in an improper alignment when you walk. And the feet are obviously the foundation, so you have a foundation of a house. If you don't get the foundation of the house right, the house will eventually collapse. And if you don't get your feet right, eventually your body will collapse, which we don't want. So I wanted to make a just show you a couple mobilizations that I like to do for my feet. Okay, so obviously you can see I've got some things on my feet. These are my toe spreaders because our feet are not supposed to be stuck together. Okay, that is a modern man problem. We never had that before shoes. Okay, but if you keep wearing shoes, 35 plus years of constantly wearing shoes it has pushed my feet together. So eventually these will go back together, and then we're wearing the shoe that the widest part is on the back, and usually the smallest part is up here. So obviously the shoe design is bad. Okay, but what you're going to need for these mobilizations, I've got 4 tools here, and there's other ones you can use, but lacrosse ball is going to be the best in my opinion. If you've never done this before, it might be a little painful or a lot painful, so you can start with a tennis ball. Okay, this one is a lacrosse ball cut in half. So this is what I use when I'm just indoors and standing at my standing desk. I will just use this and stand on it and put it in different positions on my foot as the workday goes. And then this is a double lacrosse ball. It's just two lacrosse balls duct taped together. So I believe everybody should have at least 4 lacrosse balls, a single, a double, and then one for your car. And then you can just put it in your back, or you can put it under your hamstring, and then just move it back and forth, back and forth. Because if we are not mobilizing and taking care of our feet, eventually they will start to break down. It's like anything, any machine, any car will eventually break down. So the first one is just basically the basic foot smash. So you just take your foot, put it on the lacrosse ball. I like to start basically where the top of the toes meet. And as you're doing this, you want to try and pull your toes up. So the natural instinct when you push down is your toes will want to go down. You want to try and keep them up because that will keep the fascia open, so it's more effective. And then you're just smashing back and forth like so. Okay? And then you would do this as long as you're feeling pain, trigger points, so you'll know what feels a little. So some areas will feel a little bit worse. Stay on there. Okay, so jiggle back and forth. You can just push down, and you notice how my feet are trying to go down. So that's the natural state, is the toes are trying to go down. So keep them up, and then once you clear an area, just move it up an inch, and then you're just going back and forth, and then you do the whole foot just like that. Okay, and on me right here, inside portion is where I usually have my trigger points. Okay, so then you just keep going all the way down to the heel. The heel for me usually is nothing, so I usually don't do too much on that. Okay, but then the other thing is you get down, you're going to work on the inside portion here. So this is usually where a lot of people will have trigger points. Again, you can take 2 hands depending on how advanced you are, or you can just slide it back and forth. If you've never done this before, that might just be enough. Okay, but apply as much pressure as you possibly can, and don't forget to breathe. Okay, breathe through your nose, through your belly, as deeply as you can. Because if you hold your breath, usually other muscles, other areas are going to tense up, and when we're tense, it's not going to work. Okay, so just push down as much as deep as you can. Floss back and forth on areas you find more trigger points. So right here is one, and I'm just flossing back and forth on it. Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Okay, and just keep working the foot like so. Obviously, just stay on the muscles. Bony areas are not going to have as much issues, so you can skip over those. But the one thing you do want to do, so usually we have what's known as a sliding surface. So if you take your finger and just move back and forth over your inside ankle bone, the skin should just be able to slide back and forth. Okay, the more dehydrated you are, the more overweight, diabetics, the skin is going to be tough to move. It won't be able to slide over. So what you can do is you can take your lacrosse ball, push it in, down, and in, and then you just twist. And then it basically takes up the skin here. Because we should be able to have sliding surfaces all over. Some areas, so like the hands, the ankles, the feet, it should move a little bit more. So if that sliding surface gets more taut, okay, it's going to lock the foot into more places, or it's going to lock it into place, so you wouldn't be able to have as much range of motion. Okay, you would have the wrist pain, elbow pain. Okay, so you should be able to move it all over, and you should be able to do the twisting all over your body. Okay, doesn't matter where it is. Okay, so I usually twist on the inside of the ankle, top of the foot as well, and then the outside of the ankle is where I usually twist. So I don't twist everywhere on my body. I probably should, but I do some other things. I do like dry brushing and whatnot for skin health and whatnot. And then inside on the wrist is where I will twist, and then I will also twist up here. So this is good for headaches as well. So if you do have a lot of headaches, usually sliding surfaces all over our body. Okay, I'll push the ball in, and this is more of a smooth lacrosse ball, so you can push through. There's more rougher ones where your thumb you wouldn't be able to push down and through. Okay, so you if you're doing sliding surfaces, you want more of the harder one, not such a smooth one. But put it in the side of the temple, like where the end of your eyebrow, and then just twist. Hold it as long as you can, and then just retwist, and this will help relieve headaches as well. And then also right where if you open your jaw, right where that little bump is, put it there, and then slide or twist. Okay. But then the other things with the foot, so you're here. I like to get the toes stretched out, so I'll just basically step and push my toes up as much as I can. Big toe, I don't really have an issue with mobility or anything. It's the little toes, the smaller toes, that I work on. And you can hold this for, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute on each place, just as long as you're opening them up and whatnot. Okay, make sure you get that little one. Everybody neglects the little one. Okay, and just back and forth. Hold it as long as you can, and then you can also, if you're not wearing toe spreaders, just get in there, spread the toes apart. Okay, and just keep working on that foot, because if we do continue to wear shoes, I mean, even like a regular Nike or an Adidas will have like a 1-inch heel. Every inch, so this is my daughter's Adidas, so as you can see, there's a 1-inch heel here. So again, every for every inch, you basically have to walk at an 11-degree angle forward. So if you have a 2-inch heel, you got to walk 22 degrees forward. If you have a 3-inch high heel, you've got to walk 33 degrees forward, okay, which is virtually impossible. Okay, so then with the heels, if you consistently wear the shoes, it's going to eventually just keep pushing your toe out. I mean, these people that were wearing the flip-flops, they had their toes pointing out like this, okay? And one of them had, one foot was straight, the other one was like this, okay? Usually both feet start to turn out, but it depends on how they sit, how they stand, okay? Sitting and standing is a skill, and we need to basically reteach it to people. But if your foot goes out like this, you can't turn on your butt, you can't turn on your hips when you're lifting, when you're walking. Everything changes. Your gait changes, and it just completely destroys you. So it starts up here, works on the knee, gets up to the hip, gets up to pretty much all the way to the neck. So if you have problems with your neck, pain in your shoulders, start with the feet. Figure out what's wrong with the feet. Okay? Because again, it is the foundation. And then one thing I do recommend people do is a squat hold test. So you should be able to squat down. Feet should be pointing relatively straight. Okay? It's okay to go out 6, 12 degrees. Okay? But they should be relatively straight. And you should be able to hold this for up to 10 minutes. If you cannot, then we know we've got some issues with hip, knee, ankle, low back, all that stuff. So, but if you're super mobile, you should be able to get right in there, hold that, hip extension, okay, in and out, okay, just like so. But also another test you can do is you can test how much power you have with your butt. So your feet are facing forward, stand up, squeeze your butt as hard as you can, okay? You should be able to feel that butt, and should be able to squeeze it, flex it very, very hard. Then try with feet out a little bit. Try with the feet out a little bit more. Try with the feet out a little bit more. Each time you put the feet out like so, your butt should be able, you shouldn't be able to turn your butt on as much. Butt, one of the strongest muscles in our body, but a lot of people sit on their butts too much, and sitting it's one of the new smokings, so don't want to do it. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, mobilizations, very, very important. Hashtag mobilization with Yun, and you should be able to see the other mobilizations I've done. Otherwise, check out my YouTube channel at YunTraining. And I've got playlists with a bunch of mobilizations that you can do just for the entire body. Okay, but otherwise, don't forget, subscribe to the newsletter, improvementwarriorfitness.com/NL, and also pick up the 17-step guide to optimal health, because it is not just about fitness and it is not just about nutrition. If that is all you focus on, you will get and die of a modern man disease. Okay. Otherwise, 17-step guide is improvementwarriorfitness.com/mitochondriac. Otherwise, I will check you later. Have a great day, great weekend, and stay strong, stay positive, be the improvement warrior.